And we're live on this Tuesday special transmission. It's about 8 minutes after 6 o'clock. And the reason I've decided to come in and do this special news bulletin is George Soros and his tens of billions of dollars are attempting to buy the complete rewriting of history. Now, Roseanne Barr was fired today, just a few hours after she sent out tweets that some could interpret as racist, that I interpreted as funny. I've called myself a pink gorilla. I look somewhat simian. I mean, I make the joke that my daughters, I've got 3 daughters, but when they were about a year old and had little bitty short ponytails on top of their heads, they looked like Manchichi monkeys. Humans are in the same family as the great apes. I'm not saying we're great apes, but humans are in the same family, and we all have quite simian features. But if people then determine that something is racist or something is hateful, well, then they're fired. Well, next they're going to say, again, they're saying mother or father is hateful, and Canada's taken that out of government documents because somebody might not have a mother or father. If someone is offended by something, well, then they've got to be fired. This political correctness is eating the very heart and soul out of the free speech across the West and killing comedy. Now, this is a whole other subject I'll cover tomorrow when I do the regular weekday show, but I remember them calling George W. Bush, who I didn't like either, a chimpanzee, a monkey. Maybe we can search engine while we're live right now, George W. Bush compared to a monkey or an ape. And that was okay. And of course, there was big memes on the internet comparing Michael Jackson to Planet of the Apes, because I guess his plastic surgery. He didn't look like an ape. He looked like a space alien. But the Planet of the Apes, some of those scientist apes that that he was compared to look kind of like space aliens too. They didn't. Yeah, there it is. Can you spot the difference? One is wearing a hat, but there's so many other graphics, cartoons, political cartoons of George W. looking like a dumb chimpanzee because, well, folks, he made chimpanzee faces. Yeah, there's one right there. I mean, I'm sorry. My dad makes the joke that he looks like a chimpanzee because he's got brow ridges like I do. He makes the joke that his great uncle, who he loves more than any probably, was like an old chimpanzee. I mean, that's what we're dealing with here. That said, though, she's not just fired for that. She's fired for calling George Soros a Nazi and saying he's a Nazi collaborator. Now, that's somebody that actually, from the time he was 13, 14, 15, helped round up thousands of Jews in his own words. And the reason we say he's rewriting history is he's got Anderson Cooper running around saying that I made it up that he's had a Nazi collaborator past. He's got the Young Turds head, Sinker, Uger, whatever his name is, who looks like a big, fat, ugly slob. Looks like Slimer from Ghostbusters. He doesn't look like a monkey or a gorilla. He looks like Slimer from Ghostbusters. His group's named after the anti-Christian genocidal group, the Young Turks. He says, I'm the worst person, quote, in the world, and that George Soros was never a Nazi collaborator. I'm going to show you George Soros saying it was the best time of his life. He'd do it all over again, and he helped round people up for the Nazis. The full 13-minute interview is online. Just type in George Soros, 60 Minutes, 1998 appearance. You'll get the whole unedited thing. For a while, he'd expunged it off the web, but folks found the HD version. They put it back up. It's all over the place. So understand, they've had the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, the Young Turds, all of them say, I'm a liar, and one reason I need to be sued out of existence, quote, the legal war on Alex Jones, is because I lie about a Holocaust survivor. So I got sarcastic, and I said, actually, Soros cut Adolf Hitler's head off in 1945 in the bunker. He killed Hitler. Of course, that's not true. So here's the headlines today before we play this clip. George Soros responds to Roseanne Barr's false claim that he is a Nazi. No, he was a Nazi collaborator. Billionaire philanthropist. When you're tax exempt in overthrow countries, you're a philanthropist. So that's one headline. Here's another one out of the New York Times. Roseanne's Twitter tantrum repeats George Soros smears. Smears. So there you go. So they're all focusing on her saying that one of Hillary's weird-looking aides, and the woman doesn't look like really a gorilla so much or a monkey. She looks like a space alien. She looks like a snapping turtle. There are a lot of weird-looking white people, black people, you name it. It's what comedy's all about. It's true. She called Hillary a big, giant douchebag. That's worse than that. But I've been told, and it's been put in the lawsuits against me that aren't even about George Soros. I'm sorry, that is stunningly accurate. See, because the Planet of the Apes lady didn't look like an ape. She looked like a space alien / a cat. More kind of like a gray alien meets a cat. So when I first saw the tweet, I thought that is a little racist, saying that woman looks like a gorilla, because she doesn't. But then when I saw the picture, I went, well, she does look like the lady from Planet of the Apes. I mean, that's not racist to say that. I look like a albino gorilla, especially with my shirt off, man. I've got a gigantic chest. My legs are kind of bow-legged and flat-footed. My wife calls me a gorilla. I mean, we are in the same family. I'm not going to debate with Christians. I'm a Christian about evolution. I don't get into all that. I'm just saying our genetics are 99% the same as a chimpanzee. So we all got the same genetics. I don't even understand this situation. I mean, if I sit there and go, ooh, 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 I'm famous for that. It's pretty good, right? I mean, that's what's going on here. So I call my youngest daughter my little monkey. Am I being racist? No, this is mental illness, folks. We should be able to. Her favorite toy is a Curious George doll. I watched my daughter this morning eat a banana. This is mental illness, ladies and gentlemen. I remember once Bill Clinton had to apologize because he had an event, I think it was in Alabama or Kentucky, for mainly black folks, and they served at the event fried chicken. That's what you eat in the South, is fried chicken. That's what I like, fried chicken. I like watermelon. I like collard greens. That's Southern cooking. I love Yankees, but that's some weird thing in the North where they saw black people coming into the North eating fried stuff. They thought, oh, that's what black people eat. No, that's what people eat in the South. Excuse me. Let's get back to what really matters. Okay, Valerie Jarrett looks like a space alien. Donald Trump looks like a giant golden toad creature. It's okay. I look like a pumpkin head. But the big serious issue is George Soros is hiding in plain view. George Soros is hiding in plain view. And George Soros was a Nazi collaborator and wrote a book about it. His dad wrote a book about it. He said he did what he had to survive. He's proud of himself. We got a bunch of these clips, but maybe we should air the whole 60 minutes, 13-minute piece for people. Because, man, they're really arrogant if they think that they can come out and say that he is not a Nazi collaborator, because that's what she said. Roseanne Barr, let's pull up her tweet. She came out and said that he worked with the Nazis. Yeah, she got something wrong about Chelsea being married to some Soros dropping. So you've got all this. And you say the Muslim Brotherhood, Planet of the Apes, had a baby. Oh, and I love how I said that I don't think that's racist. Her just making a joke. And that's all over the news. It's absolutely ridiculous. She looks like the lady from Planet of the Apes. If you wanted to get technical, Melania Trump kind of looks a little bit like a space alien, doesn't she? In a sexy way. So, again, this is called honesty, and I'm not going to sit here and stunt my honesty. I'm not going to sit here and play into this stuff. There it is. Soros' goal, the overthrow of the U.S. constitutional republic by buying back candidates for local district attorneys' races who will ignore U.S. law in favor of feelings instead of call everyone who is alarmed a racist. Sorry to have tweeted incorrect info about you. Please forgive me. By the way, George Soros is a Nazi who turned in his fellow Jews. Technically, he's a Nazi collaborator. He wasn't a Nazi. To be murdered in German concentration camps and stole their wealth. Were you aware of that? But we all make mistakes, right, Chelsea? And they just can't handle the fact that she, over the weekend, tweeted in support of Tommy Robinson and said, oh, look, expose the pedophile rings, you go to prison, which is true. And we had the exclusive interview today with the folks that work for Tommy and work with Tommy, and had talked to his wife and talked to Tommy on the phone today. He said, June 9th's the big demonstration coming up. Hard to believe how time's flying. We're going to be covering that live here on air. And he also said that he was in the court trial. And when the judge said, I'm not putting you in jail for the last time you covered this stuff, I'm putting you in jail for this. So this is an amazing time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. We can't all sit here and live in fear of saying that my dad looks a little bit like a chimpanzee, in his own words, his skeletal features. Willie Nelson kind of does too. And I kind of look like a gorilla with my shirt off, especially. I mean, I'm built like a gorilla. And I don't have to lift weights. My chest and arms just get. I want the media to attack me. They're a bunch of liars. They're the race baiters. Look at this last document cam shot right here. This is the Perception Institute that's running the whole thing at Starbucks. And this is all about a big re-education camp, brainwashing everybody to get us into gear here. And it's run by the Open Society Foundation. Many thanks to our generous supporters, including Ford Foundation, that pushes racial warfare. And then Open Society Foundation. Let's zoom in on that if you can. Open Society Foundation. That's George Soros. And all these groups. Kellogg Foundation, California Endowment. Kellogg Foundation has been involved in eugenics. This is how they all want us at the top of the pyramid, fighting with each other. And that's the group running this. It has nothing to do with bringing us together. They're scared that we are coming together. So don't worry about the guy that actually helped round up his fellow Jews. Worry about the American people and get them all calling each other racist. And then if, you compare people to different animals, well, you're a bad person. Everybody's been compared to different animals. I've been compared to hairless cats. I think it's funny. So we need to grow up and realize they're trying to turn us into basket cases. All right, I'm going to end this live transmission with George Soros himself, what he hopes you don't see, what he hopes you don't know about. He thinks he can put this PR campaign out because who's our source with him trying to rewrite history? It's George Soros, that he was a Nazi collaborator. He'd do it all over again. Best time of his life. Here it is. And then coming up tomorrow, David Knight in the morning with the real news, myself with InfoWars Live, Owen Schroyer and Roger Stone and others. We're now 10 hours a day live. We're trying to go at least 20 by the end of the year under globalist attack. We're free to air on the satellites, radio, TV. We're reaching a lot of people right now. Thank you for spreading the word against the intimidation, the threats. We're not trying to be popular with the establishment or mainstream media. We're trying to be popular with you, taking America back, delivering on that. We have the Memorial Day week specials that are extended throughout the week, free shipping on all our best-selling items. Just try Brainforce, the best nootropic out there from our research. It's 50% off right now. Leading competitors are $60 or more. It's usually a great price at $39.95. It's $19.95 right now at InfoWarsStore.com. If you haven't tried Brainforce, now is the time to try Brainforce. If you haven't tried our amazing fluoride-free toothpaste and fortified with colloidal silver and iodine, get in there and do it. Again, find out, fund this operation, get great products you need, and know you are a major thorn on the side of the globalist. And yeah, if your dog looks like Hitler, make a joke about it, like my late dog Captain. Remember 4 years ago, JCPenney had the chrome teapot, and then the little black lid kind of went down and looked like a mustache, like seeing giraffes in the clouds, so they pulled it. I said, that's mental illness. My French bulldog has white fur, brown spots, gray spots. Yeah, pull up Hitler, dog. And this is total mental illness. They said that. And I said, he could be Hitler dog because he has no fur right here and he's got brown skin right here. Well, Count Dankula is about to get a year in prison. He's been convicted in England for making a John Cleese joke. Yeah, there's the late captain. And that's the point of the mental illness. The designers of the teapot, all those major handles have the bump that could look like somebody's hair. And then there's the little mustache up there that shines down. That's crazy. That's like looking at the walls over here and saying, I see a demon. Or, oh, wait, that O looks like a woman's butt. That's a butthole, a flaming butthole. You put something in there, flame gonna come out and burn you. Pastor Manning, I see flame coming out of, why? Wait a minute. Look at that. They put a racist flaming butthole up on the screen. And now you see, look at that. That's InfoWars. Wow. Look at that subliminal devil behavior. Then they'll say, Pastor Manning's black, you're making fun of him. No, I do Southern accents, British accents. It's funny. It's funny when a preacher gets up there and says, oh, you such and such as you go out there and put your, you know what, where? Why, you going to pull it out and a flame going to shoot out and you're going to have a flaming butthole. Look, see? It's flaming. It's a subliminal. Oh, my God, I can't believe I actually did that. Pornographic, ladies and gentlemen. Porno. We have the most foul, evil. I apologize to our family audiences. We've got a... We're seeing Hitler in teapots and dogs. What does this look like? A little phallic here. Like, what was the message we're sending? This is where the mental illness goes, ladies and gentlemen. Turn the red lights off. That's a sign of prostitution. Oh, my God, the Vice Squad's going to get us. Turn the red lights off. We got a red light out here. Good. Get that down. There's Hitler dog right there. All right. Excuse me. Now, let me get serious for a minute. Because we're sitting there joking around about this. It's not funny. Because George Soros is a real Nazi collaborator. And he's demonizing everybody that exposes it when it's out of his own stinking, delusional, fruitcake mouth on 60 Minutes, and he wish he wouldn't have said it. But sorry, you can have old Anderson Cooper say I'm a liar all day. The truth is the truth. And if you do anything what you're doing, fire come out of your butthole, Soros. When you're down in hell, the devil's going to have that pitchfork. He's going to say, this is about to go you know where, Soros. So let's go ahead, ladies and gentlemen. While I'm channeling Pastor Manning, this is not funny now. This is the chilling truth about Soros and how dumb he thinks you are. Here it is from 60 Minutes.
To understand the complexities and contradictions in his personality, you have to go back to the very beginning, to Budapest, where George Soros was born 68 years ago to parents who were wealthy, well-educated, and Jewish. When the Nazis occupied Budapest in 1944, George Soros' father was a successful lawyer. He lived on an island in the Danube and liked to commute to work in a rowboat. But knowing there were problems ahead for the Jews, he decided to split his family up. He bought them forged papers, and he bribed a government official to take 14-year-old George Soros in and swear that he was his Christian godson. But survival carried a heavy price tag. While hundreds of thousands of Hungarian Jews were being shipped off to the death camps, George Soros accompanied his phony godfather on his appointed rounds, confiscating property from the Jews. These are pictures from 1944 of what happened to George Soros' friends and neighbors.
You're a Hungarian Jew who escaped the Holocaust by posing as a Christian.
Right.
And you watched lots of people get shipped off to the death camps.
Right. I was 14 years old. And I would say that that's when my character was made.
In what way?
that one should think ahead, one should understand and anticipate events, and one is threatened. It was a tremendous threat of evil. I mean, it was a very personal experience of evil.
My understanding is that you went out with this protector of yours who swore that you were his adopted godson.
Yes.
Went out, in fact, and helped in the confiscation of property from the Jews.
That's right. Yes.
I mean, that sounds like an experience that would send lots of people to the psychiatric couch for many, many years. Was it difficult?
Not at all. Not at all. Maybe as a child you don't see the connection, but it created no problem at all.
No feeling of guilt.
No.
For example, that I'm Jewish, and here I am watching these people go. I could just as easily be there. I should be there. None of that.
Well, of course, I could be on the other side, or I could be the one from whom the thing is being taken away. But there was no sense that I shouldn't be there, because that was. Well, actually, funny way, it's just like in markets, that if I weren't there, of course I wasn't doing it, but somebody else would be taking it away anyhow. And it was whether I was there or not, I was only a spectator, the property was being taken away. So I had no role in taking away that property. So I had no sense of guilt.
Are you religious?
No.
Do you believe in God?
No.
And by the way, that's not the full interview. I want the promo one where he says it was the best time of his life and all the rest of it. We got so many of these. I think tomorrow on the show, I should air the entire 30-minute piece. Because the truth is, they wrote an earlier book that he did help go in and track and find out where the stuff was. But the point is, the idea that he's hiding out, living with these people, they're going out with the Nazis, rounding people up. And he goes, well, if I didn't do it, I'd end up being killed. And then he felt no guilt. Because it's like markets, someone else would have filled that role. No, if you'd said no, it wouldn't have come down. If others would have fought back. But it's this idea of, oh, well, I'll just join with it. I'll just go along with it. It's simply amazing. We finally, a few weeks ago, aired the full interview after a while. And there's a particular one that Dew put together, and then it has him in a radio interview too, saying, it was the best time of my life. It's a very quandrous thing, because I always just say, give me the George Soros interview. There's so many variants of it, but there's one with him on NPR, and then it goes in with the one on 60 Minutes, and it's the one where he says, it was the best time of my life. I'd do it all over again. But the point is that for Roseanne Barr to say he went around helping the Nazis round people up, he said, well, I'm a spectator. I said nothing. Oh, so you didn't fight back. I mean, if I saw anybody being rounded up and sent off to be killed, and I would fight back. I mean, I'm fighting the globalists right now. I'm fighting George Soros. They're coming after me. They're demonizing me. This attitude that now he's this Holocaust survivor because, well, if he wouldn't have gone along with it, he'd have been killed. That's the attitude. He, bare minimum, collaborated with the Nazis. That's what it's called. When you go along with something, when you help it, you're a collaborator. So I don't call him a Nazi. Roseanne Barr might have gone a little too far calling him a Nazi. He was a Nazi collaborator. A Nazi collaborator. And what I'm going to do on the show tomorrow, the weekday program, I'm going to air unedited the 60 Minutes piece, and then let's dig up the whole NPR piece. It's about 8 minutes long. I think unedited, we should probably air these, because this is this thing I go into where they got all these versions. I've never even seen that edit they just played off that computer. There are so many of these things. But I think people should hear probably the unedited, or let's say it's the full broadcast of 60 Minutes and the full NPR, because that's really the powerful clip that I've gone into conniptions over, is where he says he'd do it over again, best time of his life, and then for whatever reason we just never seem to air that one. I've never even seen that variant we just had. Do we have one of the other clips? Okay, well, what about all the promo pieces that have got him? Those have got that in there too. Yeah, run that, and I'm going to go get on the other computer and I'll find it. It's in there on that one. I didn't really make preparation for this, but I do want to air that for people that want to see it, and then people can again just type in full interview George Soros 1998 on there, because I mean he said a lot of it there, but I want them to get the part of it was the best time of his life. You do it over again. Those are the critical pieces. And I think we should then flush all these other pieces. We should just have the full interview, the full 60 minutes, the full NPR. And then we should have the promo intros with him. We should have those, and then all these others, because I mean there's like 50 of them in there. So that's good. But anyways, they're changed the subject from this to Roseanne Barr making jokes about things. This is what they're scared of, and they want to intimidate you that if you don't follow our orders and you don't follow what we say, we're going to ban you, we're going to sue you, we're going to shut you down. This is a giant reign of anti-free speech that's taking this country over. Okay, you guys ready with that promo piece? Let's go ahead and roll that. I'm going to go find the piece myself. Here we go.
My understanding is that you went out with this protector of yours.
Yes.
Went out, in fact, and helped in the confiscation of property from the Jews.
That's right.
Was it difficult?
Not at all. Not at all. Maybe as a child you don't see the connection. It created no problem at all.
No feeling of guilt?
No. Well, actually, funny way, it's just like in markets that if I weren't there, somebody else would be taking it away anyhow. And it was whether I was there or not, the property was being taken away. So I had no sense of guilt.
Defending the Republic from enemies, foreign and domestic. It's Alex Jones.